I can't believe all this happened to me. I'm sitting here in absolute shock, unable to shake off what I've learned. I want to share my story with you because I need to talk it out. Please listen. It all started like this. My name is Mark. I had a wife, Sarah, whom I deeply loved, and we have children. Our biggest problem was my low-paying job. I loved life the way it was and considered myself a happy man. Of course, I was never wealthy or well off, but I managed to build a family and buy an apartment with a mortgage in a nice area. Sarah was my first love, and truly my first woman, the mother of our two children, the homemaker, and the keeper of the family hearth. She was the closest and dearest person to me. After buying the apartment, I worked 2 jobs while Sarah looked after the children and took care of the house. Our twins, Alex and Mia, were toddlers and not yet in kindergarten. We were doing the renovation ourselves because I had worked in interior finishing for several years, so hiring outside help was pointless and expensive. Our building was inhabited by many people, mostly families with children. The residents were generally well off, and the parking lot was filled with expensive cars. Near our entrance stood a brand new sports car, a handsome machine. One day, returning from the grocery store with my family, I noticed the car and commented, "That must cost a fortune." "Definitely not cheap," Sarah replied thoughtfully, pushing the stroller. "Some people really live well. It was probably bought outright, not on credit, and we can't afford anything. No vacation by the sea, and we can't even finish the renovation. It's been 2 years of nothing but mortgage and debt. Soon we'll be begging for change. This isn't life. It's purgatory." "Don't talk like that, Sarah," I said. "What are you saying? We have everything good. We are the happiest people, our own apartment, 2 kids, a life to enjoy. We'll save up for a vacation, then we'll save up for university, and we'll save up for the children's weddings." "Saving, saving, saving," she interrupted me harshly, then sighed deeply and headed for the entrance. "Let's go eat. I still have a ton of things to do, and you're working the night shift." Sarah and the children disappeared into the entrance. Despite her pessimistic mood, my hope for a bright future never left me. I dragged myself home from work at 10 a.m. "You're late today," Sarah called out from the bedroom. "Yes, a lot of work piled up." I walked over to my wife. She was spending time on the floor trying to scrub the children's artwork off the door. "Where are the kids?" I asked, surprised by the unusual silence. "At Natalie's on the 5th floor. They're playing with Max, their age mate." "Go to sleep," my wife replied, getting up from the floor. She looked exhausted, definitely hadn't slept well. Mia had a stomachache. I was up with her half the night. Having twins is a nightmare. "I'm going to go see Claire," she announced. "Why?" "She's dyeing my hair blonde. You know, I've wanted it for a long time, and she's training to be a hairdresser." "Sarah, we're already trying to save money. It's free," my wife interrupted. "Go to sleep." Sarah was a very sociable person, unlike me. She made useful contacts, while I sometimes didn't even greet my neighbours. That evening, having reluctantly gotten out of bed, I found my wife in the kitchen, a long-haired blonde. The children had already eaten and were locked in an uneven battle over a toy. "Where are you going?" I asked. "Out for a walk with the kids. Are you working the night shift again?" she asked, clearing the dishes. "No, the boss gave me a chance to get some sleep. I'll go in the morning." "Oh, that's great!" my wife almost shouted, and she went to get the children ready. Her behavior had changed somehow. With the change in hair color, she was constantly rushing somewhere, bustling, and starting to take better care of herself. Time went on. I worked. My wife managed the home. We sent the children to kindergarten. But something wasn't right anymore. We had drifted apart and could only exchange a few words throughout the day. I blamed myself, my job, my absence. One hot July day, I left work earlier than usual. There wasn't much to do, and I decided to spend some time with my family, maybe even take a walk in the park. Near the entrance stood that same sports car. 2 people were sitting in it, having a lively conversation. One voice was female, and I recognized my wife's. I froze between 2 cars and waited. I don't know how long I stood there, but I waited. My wife got out of the car, threw a cigarette butt away, and she never smoked, and then a man followed her out. They disappeared behind the entrance door. At that moment, I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. I rushed into the entrance, ran up to the third floor, twisted the doorknob, but no one was home. I sat down on the floor by the door and almost screamed. I couldn't believe Sarah had a lover. The sound of the elevator doors opening interrupted my thoughts. It was her, and she was alone. Sarah, what is the meaning of this? What are you doing? I screamed across the floor. Mark, don't shout. Let's go inside. I'll explain everything, my wife said in a monotonous and surprisingly calm voice. Stepping into the apartment, she began to speak calmly, as if nothing had happened. You finally saw us. Yes, I thought I'd tell you myself, but later, fine, I'll tell you now. That's David, and we've been seeing each other for 2 months. Sarah, what the hell? We have a family. We have children. We don't have a family. I filed for divorce 4 days ago. I'm sick and tired of you, with your jobs, your unfinished renovation, and your whining about a happy future. We don't have a future. Sarah, how could you? But I work for us. Mark, my wife mimicked me. I'm 28 years old and I want to live normally, not like tramps. I'm tired of counting pennies. I'm tired of this Groundhog Day. I'm tired of watching others live and enjoy life while I merely exist against the backdrop of those happy families. Sarah, what about the children? It was at this moment that the fact our happy life, as I saw it, was over, began to sink in, and everything we had was falling into an abyss. David and I took the children to my parents, my wife said dryly. We're leaving town for the weekend today. Try to move out by Monday. You don't have that many things. My wife grabbed a sports bag and said on her way out, Mark, just understand me correctly. I have nothing to do with you. Just look at yourself. You can't even finish this damn renovation. You can't earn money normally. You spend days at work and don't spend time with the kids. I have nothing to gain by being with you. I want to live normally. She slammed the door shut, making her final point. Standing frozen, finally grasping what had happened, I bolted and ran out of the apartment. The overwhelming desire to tear David apart was critically strong. But running out of the entrance, I stopped. There was no one outside, no car, no wife, no one. The rain began to fall. Even if they had been there, what would be the point? I'm not a coward, it's just that there was nothing left to fight for. I saw no point in saving a family that apparently never existed from the start. Sarah indeed filed for divorce. I moved out to my parents' place on Monday and remained in depression for a long time. That's how I lost everything. As it turned out, our family happiness was merely an illusion. Of course, I see the children, and quite often. They are my only joy and meaning in life. You know, finances should not become the reason for a breakup. It is important to find joint solutions to such problems and support each other during difficult times, not accuse and blame. They say love can't be bought. Oh yes, it can. And how?